Everybody, sorry, this is Moise Bawani. I'm a teacher at Roberto Clemente Community Academy. Apologies, I've got the mask on today. We're at our mutual aid, our food pantry outside of Clemente, and we're restocking, so we're still working. There's always a need, so we're out here. And shout out to my students that organize this. I love them, and it's a consistent reminder on the day-to-day basis of what a world could be if we allow the young people to continue to lead. But more importantly, if we get out of the way, right? More than anything. I teach at Roberto Clemente Community Academy. It was the third school that was able to successfully remove SROs. It was a it was a real journey. It took a lot of time, it took a lot of patience, and we're still sitting here, like, as I was reflecting on this, extremely grateful for the young people who put this issue forward. One of the biggest struggles about working in CPS as an educator, as a person of color, is understanding like how good this district is at co-opting social justice terminology. How good this district is at trying to convince you that they are progressive, that they care about young people, but in the background they spend money that basically explain to each and every one of us how busted their priorities are, such as the SROs, right? That they will say mental health, they will say SEL, they will say all these things, but they won't put it in the budget, they won't show it realistically, and they're absolutely fine with crushing the aspirations, the hopes, the emotions of students, and that's a no-no, right? So that was something we had to fight here. We had to fight, right? We had a team, we had administration, we had leadership, we have CPS keeps a pretty tight eye on our school too, in my opinion, and they would consistently talk about these things about, hey, we need to be responsive, we need to be culturally relevant, we need to connect with kids, right? But then at the same time, we pursue these grade policies that hurt students. We write up students, we escalate students, and we keep this consistent presence of someone walking around the school with a gun. And then our attitudes too towards like black and brown kids, right? Like our attitudes, right? Oh, you can be friends with the police, right? Wanting to teach a class about what to do when you get pulled over. Like, what? You serious? Like, these are your solutions for young people who are suffering in this system? This is your solution for a group of people who are every single day stealing basically money that could go to restorative efforts and that could rebuild Chicago. These people are plundering Chicago, right? Like the police budget in this city is plundering our city. So we went through this very arduous process of having these real conversations because there were people in the community deeply connected to police, right? If I had a dollar for every single person saying, I have a cop in my family, they're not bad people, right? We can't judge everybody. Even someone going as far as trying to connect with me because I'm Muslim, right? Oh, Mr. Bawani, you know how it is to have an entire community be judged over one person. I'm like, let's hold up here. Let's hold up, right? Because this isn't just an idea of a police officer. This is the idea of what we value, right? We have to really sit back and my good friend Rosana Rodriguez says this really well. The police have become a catch-all solution for so many things. That unlearning or de-learning the importance of the police is a fight, is a struggle, right? Because somebody's having a mental health problem, call the cops. Someone's having a tough day, call the cops. There's a homeless person outside, call the cops, right? Those have been the attitudes that we've really taken upon, and they become part of a system and they become normalized, right? So talking to your colleagues, talking to each other, and we did a series of forums, right? The young people with their incredible data and their website were so crucial at arguing the points we were trying to make. But we also had to fight people's opinion of like, no, 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 the cops here are good, right? Rather than taking some time and telling everybody, well, what does it mean? Right? Think about our own verbiage in the school. We constantly say, students first, students deserve everything, students are the best, we love our students, but we somehow still need the presence of police officers. And those were difficult conversations to have, and you had to unlearn a lot, right? And as we're working through this, as we're looking through this, CPS is not moving the ball on this. And you've heard some incredible people like Ari and Dave talk about this. They don't want to move the ball on this. Jadine Chow came to our school, met privately with admin. We had to like confront admin about this, be like, what about our young people? What about all the folks who organized around this, right? Because they're going to come up with a solution that's going to be like, well, it's cops light or diet cops, right? When in reality, our students need all the services, right? One thing I'm incredibly grateful of about Humboldt Park, and I get really emotional about this, the parents in this community trust us with their most prized possessions. right? And many educators, all of us got into this looking for a deeper purpose. And these young people give us that purpose every day. So why wouldn't I spend every single thing I have to make sure they're okay, to make sure they're cared for, to make sure they have someone in their corner, to make sure they have resources, to make sure every single thing matters to them. And you have to challenge an organization like CPS like this, right? And my young people in this process are looking at mutual aid as a solution to this abolition project, right? They've set up a food pantry outside the school. They're excited when they go back in the school to set up shelves everywhere around the building where students can get supplies, because that's a learning process, right? To teach each other and tell each other that we have all the things we need amongst each other and to get away from carcerary practices that isolate each other. So there's hope, there's a future. And for everybody listening, let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing, because if we just stop here, we know what CPS is going to do. They'll come up with a new effort. They've already tried at our school, a new effort that really doesn't answer the bell to what our young people need, what our communities need, and how Chicago needs to look in the future. One that actually loves and prizes Black and Brown people, the same people who have built this city.